Good afternoon, dear subscribers. Today you will see the second part of my project. As you have already noticed, I am not alone with me, my faithful friend Bagheera. In this video, we will work on the roof and the stove. Before starting work, I collected a fairly large amount of stones, which we will need today. Oh, and here's a moment of caressing. By the way, I'm ahead of your comments about my friend's breed. It's a Doberman. By the way, this is quite an interesting fact. During the Second World War, Dobermans served in the U.S. Marines. For their services to the Army, they were awarded the title of Semper Fidelis, always faithful. They were also called devil dogs. Their speed of reaction, invulnerability, and fearlessness made these dogs unsurpassed in performing special missions during the war. They performed guard duty, were used as medics, sappers, and even paratroopers. Dobermans are very emotional, full of energy, and incredibly sociable. If any of you have a dog of this breed, you probably know how strong the emotional bond is between the animal and its human family, and especially with the chosen person, who remains the only one for life. That's it. So take care of the one you have tamed, and we continue. Again, I mix the mixture that will replace the cement and start making the stove, gradually moving to the chimney. Regarding the proportions of this mixture, I would like to say that almost everything is done by eye. We just pour water on the ground until the mixture becomes more or less thick. How about some interesting facts? Did you know that the total area of forests on Earth is about 38 million square kilometers, and that Finland is the richest European country in terms of forests? By the way, you often ask, what happens to buildings when you leave them? Sometimes people come there to relax, or just out of curiosity. But when a building has been standing for too long, I try to dismantle it and clean up the site. And if there are any good materials left, I use them for the next project. Then, we need a large tree for the roof, which we need to cut into boards. In this case, I take a tree that has already fallen, so as not to cut down a living one. In general, in this particular forest where I work now, there are a lot of trees that have fallen either from old age or due to weather conditions, which is to our advantage. For support, I put a large branch so that I can fix everything neatly. Take wooden spikes and drive them into the hole I drilled earlier. With an axe, I clean off all the excess and continue to put it on top. In fact, it's quite hard to work alone. But for me, it's a separate kind of meditation, to be alone with nature. Here I realized that I needed a ladder. I would need a few more trees, so I cleaned them of excess branches and created a high ladder. In more detail, for the ladder we need about 3 high beams. We measure the approximate length we need between the steps, then cut out special recesses for the steps with an axe and nail it. We made it to make it convenient to put the layers on the frame. If you want to ask something or learn more about any stages of construction, write in the comments and I will be happy to answer everything. In the future, I plan to do even more cool and interesting projects. I have a lot of ideas, by the way. What do you think of tree houses? Would you like one? I think that if you make everything properly and sturdily, you can spend quite cozy evenings there. On the side where our chimney is visible, we need to work a little harder. I measure the length and cut off the excess. And on top of our roof, I put a large beam carved from the inside, which serves not only as an aesthetic decoration of the house, but also prevents water from leaking inside. We will be able to work on the aesthetic appearance of the house in more detail in part 3. I'm finalizing the chimney and filling in all the possible gaps on it. If I were making the walls of wood, I would most likely just buy a metal stove, cut a hole in the wall, and insert the pipe, gluing everything with foil for safety. But this is not the case here. You need to work hard to do everything correctly and reliably. I'm bringing more small beams and smaller wooden planks. We need them to close the house on the sides. As you may have noticed, it started snowing while I was working, but this is not an obstacle for us. I'm nailing it all down with chopsticks and putting in beams for future doors. More on that in the next part. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate you being with me, and I'll see you in the next installment. I hope you're as excited as I am to see you again. Special thanks for your likes. See you soon.